If you're looking for somewhere to watch the game, check out the Classic Football Shirts HQ at the Box in Hackney. Screening every World Cup match with a pop-up shop, World Cup artwork and small shirt display from the 14th to the 24th of June. Tickets for guaranteed entry can be bought through Eventbrite. Just search Classic Football Shirts London.
This is Gareth Southgate and this is the Three Lions podcast.
The next train at platform 1 is the 1518 Stansted Express service to Stansted Airport.
Welcome to episode 26 of this, the Three Lions podcast. My name's Russell Osborne. Slightly different feel to this recording as I'm actually on my way to Stansted Airport to catch a flight to Kaunas in Lithuania to then get a coach across the Russian border to Kaliningrad for the Belgium game. Come with me and we'll get a feel of the place together. Here we are, we've landed in Kaunas. We're on our way to our hostel. We took off from Stansted just after we'd seen Germany go out to South Korea. 2-0. Germany out for the first time, was it 1938? This World Cup is really starting to turn on its head. This is anyone's now, I reckon. Right, let's go find our hostel, get our head down, and onwards to Kaliningrad tomorrow morning. Morning. So we've made it to Russia. Convoy of about 4 coaches from Vilnius and Kaunas left this morning at about 5:30. We finally made it through the border. It took about 2 hours to get through the border. Passport checks, fan ID checks, just general fannying around checks. And we're now stuck at a service station for what? I don't know, wasting time. But yeah, hoping we're going to get onwards very soon, because frankly there's nothing really here to see or do other than fill your car up. So hopefully we can get to Kaliningrad very soon and I can give you a feel as to what the game's like and what the atmosphere's like. There we are, 2.5 hours and 150 kilometres later. We finally made it to Kaliningrad after we'd crossed the border on what was quite possibly the world's worst magical mystery tour, on a bus driver who has initially taken us to the ground and decided he didn't want to take us to the ground. He's driven away from the ground, so we've been teased by seeing it, and we've now been taken to a park and ride area where we have to get the shuttle buses to and from the city. It was pretty much flat land coming here, nothing to really see, crossing a few railway lines, being overtaken by cars as we made our way here. It is hot. It's not really ideal weather for wearing a 1980s polyester football shirt. But as I say, we were nearly dropped off by the ground, which from the outside looks like a cruise ship that's arrived, that's docked in, all white and interspersed with blue lines. But we'll have a look at that later on. Let's go and have a look to see what the city's like. Finally made it into Kaliningrad, into the centre. Quick chat with Dan Rowan from the BBC. So yeah, shout out to him. You may have seen us on the TV on BBC Sports. But yeah, Kaliningrad, here we are, squeezed in between Poland and Lithuania along the Baltic coast. The train dropped us off into the city centre, right outside Victory Square. A couple of beautiful gold-topped, gold-domed churches that dominate this square. A couple of good photo opportunities around as well. Plenty of England fans milling around, with Belgian fans as well, all very good natured, lots of flags around. Greenford, there's Preston North End, West Ham flags, Derby County as well, lots of England flags. Huddersfield Town I can see as well, all dotted around. Right, I'm off to get this first beer that I desperately need. So here I am in Kaliningrad in the tourist information spot, and it's where the Three Lions are being distributed, and I've managed to meet up with the Chief Executive of the Football Supporters Federation. It's Kevin Miles. Hello there.
Hello again.
Hello, yeah, we spoke, what was it, about 3-4 episodes ago?
I believe that's right, yeah.
How's things been going?
Been very, very good actually. None of the worst dire predictions have materialised, so it's been again too new, as I think we discussed before, and everything's been warm.
Yeah.
From the weather to the welcome, it's been really good. Everybody's had a really positive experience, and I think there's probably a lot of people back home now thinking, I wonder if I'm going to review my decision not to go to the World Cup.
I think that was being back home myself, like in the media, they said the increase in requests for fan IDs has increased tenfold.
Well, since we've been able to discover how easy it can be to get a fan ID to get in the country, I think it's opened the door for a lot of potential people to come out here. Now, that doesn't make the distances any smaller, it doesn't make the flights any cheaper, but it does mean at least there's a level playing field. It shouldn't be much more tricky. 10 minutes on a computer and you should be able to get a fan ID, which at least allows you the same sort of access to Russia during the tournament that you would have if it was in Germany or France or anywhere else.
And where did we start? Was it Volgograd? How was that?
Volgograd was good. It was, very receptive, very welcoming the local people. The only downside actually about Volgograd was the bloody flies. They were all over the place. But if that's all you complain about when you're going to a World Cup game, then things have gone pretty well. There was none of the horror stories. I think there's a little bit of trepidation. A lot of people, we thought, unknown quantity. We've heard how bad it could possibly be. There's probably a proper scare campaign, and people are maybe a little bit wary. No need for it at all. You had story after story about how warm people have been, how welcoming, how helpful and hospitable. So it was just a really positive experience. And of course, that last minute winner.
Yeah, that's right. And the production of the Three Lions, you said to us after those games, you're back to the drawing board. Been going all right?
It's gone okay. So far, so good. Touch wood. This is the one where there's a real pressure on, because we've effectively had to prepare 2 editions.
Right.
One in case we go to Rostov, and one in case we go to Moscow. So we've got 2 different editions. Even with the 2 different editions for the guide material, you've still got the variation about who you could be playing. And of course, we won't know some of that information until tonight. We'll know first of all who the opponents are likely to be. It'll narrow it down from 3 to 2 anyway, and then we'll find out at the end of our game where we're going to be, who we're playing. So there's a bit of a scramble at the end of the game to get that done. But the printers have been really good. They've produced it and delivered it on time. So fingers crossed we'll keep going like that. Good
stuff. And Football Supporters Federation website, if someone wants to go there, or best way to get in touch with you?
Absolutely, obviously the website, but then usual social media channels. We've got Twitter and Facebook updates all the time. And if people haven't signed up, there's a free text message service as well. So we put everything out by that as well. So even if you've got your data switched off, you'll still get the text with the important information.
Kevin, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and maybe we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, anytime between now and the final.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Certainly will, mate. Cheers.
So I've made my way to the FIFA Fan Fest here in Kaliningrad. Absolutely massive area they've got here. It's in one of the city squares, sort of cobbled streets or cobbled flooring. Massive screen up ahead of us in the all branded out FIFA Fan Fest, red and blue, with a stage beneath it. Loads of supporters in here. We've got Belgians, we've got English, there's Colombians. We're actually watching Colombia against Senegal at the moment. Senegal just been denied a penalty by VAR. Doesn't seem to be many Russians in here at the moment. I'm guessing maybe they're still at work at the moment or something. But there's plenty of families in here. There's children, people of all ages, people of all nationalities. There's an FC Cologne shirt I've seen walking around, a New York City shirt. This really is a World Cup of where everyone can come and enjoy. But yeah, I've been to plenty of fan fests over my time at World Cups and at European Championships. And this one, you're able to get beer as you generally can be, but it's just everyone here just having a really good time. Okay, and for the Three Lions podcast, I'm actually speaking to a local from Kaliningrad. So hello to, what's your name, sir?
My name is Renat.
And you from Kaliningrad?
Yes.
What do you think of the World Cup so far?
It's I don't know what to say. It's surprise, from surprise to surprise every match.
How about Russia? Are you happy?
Russia have successful to win the first and second matches. And
how do you think you'll do against Spain?
Spain win.
Oh, really?
With minimal.
It's a close game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 or 2 goals over.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for a great World Cup.
Thank you.
So we've made our way back to the ground now. There's plenty of people all milling around. There's a band here as well. It really is out in the middle of nowhere though. It's a fair walk if you're going to walk to it from the city centre. Oh, I've made it into the vicinity of the ground through the outside perimeter where you just scan your ticket, scan your fan ID. Fairly straightforward, to be fair. Security is basically put any bags that you've got through the x-ray machine as you would at a regular airport. Quick pat down, everyone's happy. So with the ground in front of me now, as I said earlier, a big white, almost like a boat that's come to dock. Big screen on the side of it saying Kaliningrad at the moment. There's some poles at the top in triangular formation, and it's got these sort of ridged or ribbed blue lines stepping down from the side of it. Plenty of people milling around at the moment, making their way into the ground. Still not really busy at the moment. There's drinks kiosks around. England fans, Belgian fans, all getting ready for a game. As I make my way into the ground, I think this must be my 10th, 11th World Cup game, and you just can't beat that thrill of going into a tournament stadium. Filling up now, there's patches of red and yellow Belgian supporters interspersed with white England fans, red shirts as well. So England have changed their team around a little bit. This is the team as per announced.
Number 1, Jordan Pickford. Number 3, Danny Rose. Number 4, and your captain, Eric Dyer. Number 5, John Stone. Number 11, Jamie Vardy. Number 15, Gary Cahill. Number 16, Phil Jones. Number 17, Fabian Delph. Number 19, Marcus Rashford. Number 21, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And number 22, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Time pretty much both teams cancelling out each other. Both teams have changed squads, both starting 11, and it just goes to prove that both sides have got that strength in depth, but neither really provided much in the way of goalmouth action throughout that first half. So we'll look forward to the second half and see if England can do the business in the second half. So as we leave the ground, we come out to a 1-0 defeat. Januzaj with the goal. It's the last game for this ground here in Kaliningrad. They're going to leave it to, I guess, sink into itself, as this place is supposed to be sinking down. We can still go on. We can get to the quarterfinals. We'll play Colombia in the round of 16. Belgium will go on to play Japan. Both games, to be honest, are pretty much winnable for both teams. But we're going to make our way back to a long coach journey and back to Lithuania. So now, in the cold light of day, after losing to Belgium, is losing and coming second so bad? We now know the full lineup for the round of 16 matches. We're going to play Colombia on Tuesday the 3rd of July in Moscow, with a potential quarter-final against Sweden or Switzerland, and a potential semi against Spain, Russia, Croatia or Denmark. Don't know, has this worked in our favour? Now those other round of 16 ties include France against Argentina. I can see France passing Argentina. I don't think we've seen the best of them yet. Uruguay against Portugal. I think probably the toughest tie to call. Could, in my opinion, go either way. Spain against Russia. I think you'd expect Spain to knock the hosts out there. Croatia against Denmark. I actually like what I've seen from the Croats, and I think they could be a dark horse for this tournament. Brazil against Mexico. You'd expect Brazil to win, but this tournament has already thrown up some surprises, so who knows? Just imagine if Brazil were to go out. Sweden against Switzerland. Again, could be tough, but I fancy the Swedes. Both, I think, are actually beatable should it come to us meeting them in the quarters. And Belgium against Japan. You've got to fancy Belgium, even with the second string side that they put out against us. They're going to be too strong for Japan. So I've managed to find a couple of England fans following the game yesterday.
Hello. I thought that Gareth Southgate went and changed more players than he should have done. Never thought he was going to change 8 players, which disappointed us. It was a very poor game as a result of doing so. Obviously, he will put all the others back in, and let's hope they continue the way they were playing for the Colombia game.
Yeah, Chris Littman from Billericay, Essex, West Ham fan. Obviously went to the game last night. I think it maybe rested a few too many players. Can't read too much into it. If Rashford scores his chance, then obviously it's one all different game. Finish top of the group. Obviously now going through Colombia, I'm worried about Colombia, but if you beat them, you then look at the run we got to the final. Obviously, that's Sweden, Switzerland. You would have taken that before the tournament. So yeah, hopefully beat Colombia Tuesday and we'll go all the way. But who knows?
If you're looking for somewhere to watch the game, check out the Classic Football Shirts HQ at The Box in Hackney, screening every World Cup match with a pop-up shop, World Cup artwork and a small shirt display from the 14th to the 24th of June. Tickets for guaranteed entry can be bought through Eventbrite. Just search Classic Football Shirts London. Right, unfortunately, the other day, whilst I was in Kaliningrad, we didn't get the opportunity to team up with CJ. Whilst I'm back here in sunny Hertfordshire, CJ, you're still out in Russia.
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you? Whereabouts are you now?
I'm currently on the main stretch on the way up to Red Square.
Okay, so you're in Moscow.
I am, yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to Belgium. What did you make of it?
Frustrating. However, I think even those that were out there and are the most, that could be the most frustrated about it. So, I've turned up here. He's changed the team. Well, so did Belgium. To be fair, they won, but we looked. I think if anything, we looked more like we wanted to win more than them. Which, But I think in the end, if Southgate really wanted to win that game, 100% thought we have to win this game, he would have brought Harry Kane on. And he didn't. And that's how we've got to look at it. But we've got to respect Southgate for what he's done there. He tried Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he didn't set the world alight. And I think maybe we can look at that and say, well, maybe he needs a few games in the under-21s, get a bit of experience at that level, maybe. He tried Vardy. It didn't work 100%, I don't think. But then he tried Danny Rose. And I think now, because of that, we've got to play Danny Rose now in every game from now on. I think so if we go towards the end of the tournament, we win it, and we keep the same team from the first two games, but have Danny Rose at left back, and he puts in some blinding balls that Harry Kane nods in. You've got to say the experiment was successful the other night. We might have lost on the night, but it's actually been a good long-term investment, so to speak.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. With regards to Vardy, I was kind of frustrated, not sort of with him, but for him as well. We just weren't threading the boot. We weren't feeding him really enough, were we?
We weren't. I feel for him. I think what a story. It's not necessarily rags to riches, is it? But but still, you've got to look at him and think he's at the age he is, coming through the team like he has in the last 3 to 4 years, winning the Premier League and then going to a Euros and a World Cup with England. What a story. However, I think, I was watching him and I was thinking, is this going to be his last game for England? I know he's had some good performances in the meantime, but I look back at Amsterdam and I don't think he actually touched the ball in the half an hour he's on the pitch. And that day, Holland were terrible. They were awful. And he didn't touch the ball once, I believe. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, this has been coming for quite some time. I like the guy, but is it time for us to kind of move on from Jamie Vardy?
Right. Yeah. I tell you who really did impress me at points, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The way he picked the ball up and he moved forwards towards the goal. He just looked strong. From the vantage point that I had, you could just see his strength, his height, his build, and the way that he could just brush past the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you something. I was on the Lions Den doing a FaceTime call with him when I was outside Volgograd Airport. So it's
I missed that.
A week to 10 days ago, something like that. And I was telling him there that I remember the first time I ever saw him play. I mean, I'm a Coventry fan. I go to random neutral games sometimes. I went to the bridge and watched Chelsea play. I can't remember who it was in the Champions League a few years ago. It was one of his real first team opportunities. They won 4-0, and I was watching him, and me and my mate were talking, and we were trying to work out who he actually reminded us of. And I told him on this FaceTime call, Ruben, we realise you look like a young Zidane. The way how you control the ball, the way how every single player, every time you got the ball, immediately went forwards because they knew that's where it was going. The way how the opposition knew that the only way how you are going to be stopped from going forwards is by fouling you, and that's been the case a lot recently. At the end of the day, he's still just a kid, really, but he's had a brilliant season with Palace. A lot's made about Wilfried Zaha, a lot's made about Roy Hodgson, but my word, what Loftus-Cheek has done for Palace this season, I don't think they would have stayed up without him in their team. And there's the three key men for that, and I think it's Zaha, Loftus-Cheek, and Hodgson. Loftus-Cheek, though, I've been so impressed with him, and I want him in our team every single time now for the next 10 years. Let's just keep him in that side. Let's build the team around him. That's what we need to be doing.
He needs to be part of that spine, doesn't he?
Definitely.
So you're now in Moscow. Have you got your ticket for Colombia?
Yeah, I think we've got to pick it up the day before, I believe, from the ticketing centre. You don't have vouchers anymore. You just have you just show your fan ID or your passport, I think, and they print it off on this machine, which, to be honest, I was a little bit like, obviously it is, I can see why people would be excited when they get the tickets for the group stages, but I was hoping that I'd have to pick them up. So it's just one less thing to lose.
Right.
When you're on the way out to a tournament and carrying around three tickets with you. You don't really want to be doing that. So for the upcoming games, I'm quite pleased. The next 4 upcoming games that England will be playing in, that we're going to be picking up tickets on the day or the day before, and it's just a hell of a lot easier, I think.
That's well organised from FIFA's point of view. That is. Have you seen or spoken to any Colombian fans?
I think everybody that's been out here, doesn't matter what game they've been to, they've spoken to some Colombians, because Colombians, they are absolutely everywhere. We were speaking to a guy from FIFA in the FIFA centre the other day about the possibility of getting some tickets for a friend of ours, getting some transferred into his name. And he said, wait until the 29th, which is yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
And you lose all track of time in these tournaments, don't you? You don't know what day it is, let alone what
Tell
day.
me about it.
He said it's all dependent on what happens in the next few days, because what happens with the Germans, what happens with the Colombians, and what happens with the Argentinians, because all 3 of them have brought so many fans with them, that all the conditional tickets will obviously go back to FIFA. And that says a lot about those 3 countries. Germany, they were dreading any of those 3 teams going out. So obviously one of them did, but Colombia were one of those big 3. They did not want to go home, because at the end of the day, so many tickets would be handed back, and it's a headache of selling them again. And refunding all those Colombians for the conditional tickets, it's just something they didn't want to do that early. But so they're absolutely everywhere. We've spoken to them. They're brilliant. That they come over and buy you drinks. The same as most people at this tournament, really. I mean, we've been buying randomers drinks. They've been, randomers have been walking up to us and buying us drinks. It's just how it's been at this tournament. I mean, I'm looking at a Colombian at the moment. You might be able to hear him with a tambourine.
Oh, is that him?
It is a little bit annoying, I must say. But he's dancing around with a Brazilian guy at the moment, and it's pretty entertaining, I suppose. But they're, like I said, the Colombians are everywhere. Great bunch, always making loads of noise. I'm just pleased that we're not in a hotel next door to them. That's the only thing that I can say.
Well, to be honest, I've been let down by a Colombian. I was going to have a chat with a Colombian, and I've been let down by one, so I'm going to have to make up some facts by myself for that one. Unless your man with the tambourine wants to have a quick word. But
so what's your name?
My name is Nicholas.
This is Nicholas and
Andreas.
Nicholas and Andreas, how are you?
How are you?
Very good, thank you. Listen, this is the 3 Lions podcast. We've spoken to Tunisians ahead of the Tunisia game. We've spoken to a Belgian and we've spoken to a Panamanian. And now you are the lucky people. You're the Colombians. I'd like to hear, just quickly, tell us about Colombia. Tell us about your experience at the World Cup, and tell us about the game coming up against England. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, basically, being in the World Cup qualifying is the best experience ever. Being able to be in the World Cup and see it in the stadium live, there's no words to describe it. We're very happy we qualified. We qualified first after losing the first game, so we're climbing uphill. We're looking forward for this match. I think that's the match that scares me the most. Hopefully, Colombia will have a good game. Unfortunately, I normally like England, but my heart is with Colombia. I hope we're gonna get a great result, and from there, I think you guys gonna be the hardest team until the semis. I would say, you guys are the team to beat. If you beat us, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna be the ones making to the semis.
So, have you been out there for the whole tournament?
No, we came to the World Cup. We came after the second game. So we watched Japan, we watched Poland, and we watched Senegal.
So how did you feel after that first game against Japan, especially after, 3 minutes when you had a man sent off? Were your heads in your hands?
Oh, it was really difficult when you start losing a 10 game in a World Cup match, losing 1-0. It's really hard to come back. And we were really afraid that the team was not going to have the mental fitness to be able to overcome that situation. I think the coach has done a great job getting people again to believe in the team, to merge around it. The only one that we have fear is James Rodriguez, which right now is injured. It's a different team playing with James than without James. Hopefully, we'll see what the coach is going to be able to make for next match.
But you are both confident, are you?
We're hopeful.
And
Yeah,
just
definitely we are hopeful.
cool. Just tell us about the experience back in Colombia. Here in England, we had lots of media saying that it would be a dangerous place to go to Russia. How was it in Colombia in the media?
I think in the media everything is okay. We don't have any problem. We are really comfortable here in Russia. I think the fanatic in Colombia, they are following us. They are supporting the national teams, and I think we are gonna have a really good game against England.
Guys, thank you very much for your time there. And who's got the tambourine?
Who is it with the tambourine?
The guy with the tambourine is a Brazilian guy.
The Brazilians
So we
making
play
all the
it
noise.
as well.
Guys, remind me of your names again.
Andres,
Nicholas.
Andres and Nicholas from Colombia, thank you very much for your time and for being part of the Three Lions podcast.
and let me tell you, tomorrow Colombia is gonna win. Maybe 1-0, 0.5, I don't know, but we have to win.
No, great stuff. Thank you very much, and good luck. Enjoy
Thanks
your
for having us.
stay.
Good luck with you guys.
Good luck.
I'm gonna say where the best team wins. I'm
definitely.
very hopeful. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go on, give us a quick prediction.
I think we'll win, but I think we'll do it in the extra 30 minutes.
Going
I
to
think
extra
it'll be
time.
a draw. I think the draw's the way to go, and I think then we'll win in extra time.
Okay, and this is going to be a game on Tuesday. And is this it's not in the Luzhniki, is it? It's in the Spartak.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean
Spartak.
we've been actually pretty lucky now because we are Moscow, Samara, Moscow now. All through to the final. Obviously, third place would be in St. Petersburg, which I wouldn't mind because St. Petersburg, I really want to go there. And to be honest, I don't think we're going to get the chance to go there unless we play there. Obviously, I'd rather not go there in that respect and see us, get through to the final, winning the final. But let's just see, Russell. As you can see, I'm being very positive at the moment.
Yeah. St. Petersburg will always be there. You can go there in however many years' time. When Coventry get to the Champions League and play Zenit, then that'll be your time.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, and I'll take Kelly Brook with me as well. Yeah, and we'll go. We won't fly on a plane. We'll fly on a pig. Yeah.
All right, I'll let her know for you.
Yeah, no problem.
CJ, we will speak to you again after Colombia if that's all right with you.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice one. Thank you for that.
Cheers.
Now, with England through to the round of 16 and the potential of going further in the competition, many of you will have had that thought of getting out to Russia to experience the tournament for yourself. Now, I've been contacted by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, or the FCO, to reiterate their Be On The Ball campaign, which aims to encourage travelling football fans to prepare for their trip accordingly. You can see all the tips by searching Be On The Ball. Or on social media feeds on facebook.com/FCO Travel and twitter.com/FCO Travel. General tips include be aware of how much alcohol you're taking on board, especially in and around the stadium and the fan zones, where they can actually refuse you entry if you appear to be intoxicated or disorderly. Host cities too, where in some places the sale of alcohol is restricted between various overnight hours. Now, I'm no vodka fan, but if you are drinking Russia's finest, do make sure it is the real deal. Beware of counterfeited spirit. Fakes apparently have white particles or sediment in them. Be wary of unusual brand names and never drink alcohol that tastes or smells bad. Common sense, really. Counterfeit alcohol may contain cleaning fluids, nail polish remover, and antifreeze ingredients. Yes, I know. Which can cause nausea, vomiting, and basically, send you to hospital in an unfit state. You've probably also noticed by the television coverage that it is pretty hot out there too in places. Be sensible, hydrate, plenty of water. If you do encounter any issues that may need the emergency services, dial 103 from a mobile or 03 from any landline in Russia for an ambulance. Dialing 112 will get you to the emergency services. Now, the vast majority of fans will enjoy the tournament without incident. However, if you are in Russia and you need emergency help from the UK government, for example, if you lose your passport, call +7 495 956 7200. Don't forget, if you intend to see a game, you will require a fan ID, which will need to be applied for, as this acts as your multi-entry and exit visa to Russia. This and further information, visit www.gov.uk/foreign-travel-advice/Russia.
Ryanair finally got me back, despite being delayed because one of their cabin crew were late. Yes, I know. Anyway, it's been a long day. Coach journey from Kaliningrad dropped us back in Kaunas at 6:30 a.m, literally 24 hours since we left. Hello, if you were on Coach 4 or any other of those coaches that were doing that route. Good to make some friends and put faces to names in some cases. Thank you very much for your patience on this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it and it's given you a flavour of what it's been like out here. For my sins, I'll try and get another one out after the Colombia game, where hopefully we'll be looking forward to a quarter-final against either Switzerland or Sweden and not looking at another knockout defeat. Thank you very much to Classic Shirts for their support of this podcast whilst England are in the World Cup. You can find them on Twitter @Classic Shirts. Please feel free to subscribe and like the podcast on your chosen platform. That would be much appreciated. And quickly, before I leave you, one of our bloggers' headlines. Englandfootball.org says, bittersweet defeat for Southgate subs. We'll speak again soon. I'll catch you then.
If you're looking for somewhere to watch the game, check out the Classic Football Shirts HQ at the Box in Hackney. Screening every World Cup match with a pop-up shop, World Cup artwork and small shirt display from the 14th to the 24th of June. Tickets for guaranteed entry can be bought through Eventbrite. Just search Classic Football Shirts London.